Texas wins this game 35-13, but let's be honest here. Not good enough. Not good enough, period, at all. I'm very disappointed in the effort. I'm very disappointed in the execution. I'm disappointed in everything, guys. I'm actually quite angry at this game because I don't care what the scoreboard says. Yes, we won this game by 2 points. That is not good enough. I have high expectations after what I've seen from this Texas team. I have high expectations because of the leadership in the locker room. I have high expectations because of the head coach that stands on the sideline. My expectations going into this year were a Final Four team. Do I think that team obviously this team today wouldn't have been a Final Four team. And to me, you get one of these. So I'm not going to be too angry about it, but you get one of these a year. Georgia had theirs versus Kentucky, even though I think Kentucky's actually like a pretty good, decent team. And we saw that today, them beating Ole Miss. But I will say this, when Texas had a game like this versus Houston last year, this Houston team of last year is on par with this Mississippi State team. I actually think this Mississippi State team has slightly more talent, but it's just unacceptable. And it isn't the score, honestly. It's the way the score happened. Too many penalties, especially offensive line, guys. You are the main portion of this team. You have the most experience of this football team, and you're making boneheaded mistakes throughout the game. Jake Majors, my dude, another snap infraction. This is your 5th year in college football, and you have a snap infraction. Come on, brother. It's unacceptable. Stuff like that is unacceptable. And Steve Sarkisian needs to be chewing his ass out. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's not right. It should not be happening. We won this game. I never thought we were going to lose this game, even when it was 14-6, but it's just all the sloppy execution, all of this. It's just sloppy. And, we're just going to jump into it. We're already on this, so we might as well go. The bad. So let's start out from the very beginning. Johnsay Cook, my dude, you have very few opportunities to make explosive plays. You have been jumped over by multiple guys. Isaiah Bond's in front of you for obvious reasons. Matthew Golden's in front of you for obvious reasons. Then you see Silas Bolden. I honestly think at this point is probably in front of you. DeAndre Moore is definitely in front of you. He had his best day, by the way. We'll talk about him in the good. You got to catch that. That is a beautifully thrown deep ball by Arch Manning right in your hands, and you just drop it. You would have walked in the end zone. You could have walked backwards into the end zone, and you drop it. So you have to take advantage of your opportunities. If he isn't getting playing time, and that's what he's doing in practice, there's your answer of why. And that's lack of concentration. Not catching the ball as a wide receiver is lack of concentration. He was looking at the end zone instead of catching the ball, bringing it in, and then running. He was totally thinking about the end zone. Unacceptable for him. If you want more playing time, that's a play you have to make. You absolutely have to make it. Number 2, my God, Jaden Blue got out to a great start. We get a rushing touchdown with him. I'm thinking, okay, we're in good position. We're about to go up a lot. He's probably going to have another big game. 6 carries for 36 yards and 1 touchdown and 2 fumbles lost for Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is not the number 1 running back on this team. It's pretty clear. I was completely right when I said last year when I said Jonathan Brooks was clearly the number 1 back. I was completely wrong this year when I said Jaden Blue would be the number 1 back. He does not deserve it. Cedric Baxter, my God, do we miss you? There will be no more slander out of my mouth. I thought he was overrated. He's definitely better than any running back we have currently. Honestly, I think Trey Wisner's body is not built for it, or I don't think he can sustain success long-term because I do think he will get hurt, but he's our best running back. He really is. I was wrong. He's our best running back. From a down-to-down basis, he is our best running back. I think Jarrett Gibson shows the best flashes, and I think next year he might be able to challenge because Cedric Baxter coming back from the injury. He might be the number 1 back, but he's not the number 1 back this year. You see certain instances why. He misses holes sometimes, misses blocking assignments. He's just inconsistent. Trey Wisner's our most consistent back from down to down, period. It's not close. It really is not close. And it's very frustrating to watch Jaden Blue because he has the athletic ability. He has the agility. He has the vision. He has good hands out of the backfield. He has, honestly, really good, trustworthy hands. I don't really remember him dropping passes. He made a great catch versus Washington in the college football playoff game last year. But then you have 2 fumbles. You had a fumble in that game as well. He has issues holding onto the ball, period. Point blank, that is his number 1 issue. And if he doesn't get it solved, I honestly don't know if, 1, if he'll get much playing time, and 2, he may not get drafted, straight up. If you're going to fumble that often, you're not good enough to overcome that. You're not Adrian Peterson. If you remember back, Adrian Peterson had really bad fumbling issues in the NFL throughout his career. Guess what? You can do that when you're a top 7 running back of all time. Jaden Blue's not that good. He's a good player. He's not a great player. I honestly starting to think to draw the comparison, and this comparison was made before we played Michigan with the Michigan guys and myself. He's kind of Donovan Edwards at this point. That's who he is. That's who he should be utilized as. Out of the backfield, he should be catching passes. He's not a great running back. He misses holes sometimes. His acceleration is nowhere near where it used to be. I don't know what happened. And then he's fumbling. So I think we should go with Trey Wisner. So that's two bads. Two bads. We talked about the offensive line being bad. And then penalties. We'll just jump in that. It's the same thing as the offensive line. But 8 penalties. Mississippi State did have 9. But the thing about penalties, guys, there's a couple reasons you commit penalties. 1, lack of concentration, just not focusing of where you're at on a certain play. I saw that a couple times. 2, if you're an overmatched team, you're going to get grabby. You're going to do some things you shouldn't do because you know you're overmatched. That is not the case in this game at all. We are the ones who are overmatching Mississippi State. They should be committing much more penalties than we should be. And that did not happen. It was 9-8. That is wrong. It should not be happening. I don't know why it's happening. The offensive line was frustrating as hell today. We couldn't get a push in the first half. Anyone want to know how many rushing yards we had in the first half? We had 10 rushing yards in the first half. And by the way, that was one of the keys to the game. Mississippi State's a god-awful rushing defense team. They're better versus the pass. They're still bad, but they're better versus the pass than they are running defensively or defending. And we were terrible. 10 rushing yards in the first half. This offensive line refuses to get a push in the running game. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what the hell the issue is because they are dominant when it comes to pass protection. They've been phenomenal the whole year with that. They've been doing a good job of keeping both quarterbacks clean when they've been in the game. Arch and Quinn have been pretty clean. Arch does need to work on his pocket presence. He does get caught and not realizing where he's at sometimes, and he took a couple hits today because of that. But the offensive line in general does not get a good push up front in the running game. They don't. And that's worrisome, guys. You can't win a national championship that way. You're not going to beat Georgia that way. Georgia's defensive line is it as good as it used to be? No, but it's still very good. We obviously didn't get that push versus Michigan, but we were better versus Michigan in the first half versus them than we were versus Mississippi State. And that's just unacceptable. In the second half, we rushed for more yardage. I think I have it right here. We rushed for 188 yards in the second half, but that's hard to tell if it's just because Mississippi State's tired or we actually figured something out. We have yet to establish a running game in the first half of games this year, period. It has not happened. It's unacceptable. I don't know what the reason is. You have a top 5 pick potentially in Kelvin Banks. You have Hayden Conner, who's questionable, iffy there, but he's better in pass protection than run. Fine. Jake Majors, it's your 5th year, my dude. You're committing stupid penalties. You're not getting a good enough push in the running game. DJ Campbell's also been inconsistent, and then Cam Williams does a pretty good job in the running game, but none of them are great at this point running. I don't notice a guy that just blows people off the ball in the running game. If someone wants to drop in the comments after the video or now of who you notice in the running game pushing people back, let me know. I don't see it from Cole Hudson. I don't see it from DJ Campbell. I don't see it from Hayden Conner. I don't see it from Jake Majors. I don't see it from Kelvin Banks. I don't see it from Cam Williams. Are there certain plays? Yes, that they do it, but I'm talking on a consistent basis. Who does it? There isn't one. There isn't. And that's unacceptable. And we need you now more than ever, guys, at doing that because we don't have the running backs. Trey Wisner is our best overall running back, in my opinion. I was completely wrong. I honestly don't know who is, honestly. If I'm just guessing at this point, it's been up and down. We haven't been, and no one stepped up. Nobody has stepped up. Jaden Blue has not stepped up. He wants to fumble and be stupid in the running game. Trey Wisner has not stepped up. For the most part, he had a really good game today, and honestly, he stepped up to what I think he's capable of. Jarrett Gibson, who's a freshman, that's why it's just hard for me to blame those two guys. I'm more angry at Jaden Blue than anyone. My dude, it's your 3rd year in the system. You should not be fumbling the ball twice for Mississippi State, and neither of those are like, man, that's a great play by Mississippi State. Helmet right on the football. None of that happened. It was just really bad ball security, and it's just infuriating to watch that. And I know I'm going to get comments after like, calm down, you won. No, I'm not going to calm down because my expectations are here now, guys, because of the talent we have, because I look around the landscape of college football and I don't see a great team right now. I don't. There's no great team. There's no team that's just blown me away. Texas has been the closest to that. And then you come out and lay an egg versus an inferior opponent like Mississippi State, who is not a good football team. 35-13 is unacceptable. The first half, we basically walk through. We committed stupid penalties. We had turnovers. We had drop passes. The only overall positive, and we'll just go to the good now. There's 2 of them. Arch Manning, best game by far. Not even close. Phenomenal game by Arch Manning. He was phenomenal in this game. Let's see. I'll go to the stats real quick. He was 26 of 31 for 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He was sacked twice. One of those was his fault. The other one, I think, was more of a honestly, both were his fault. I thought he should have gotten rid of the ball on one of them and then either probably run or gotten rid of it on the other one. But he was phenomenal today. I mean, he did exactly what I wanted to see him do. I wanted to see more efficiency, 26 of 31. He was 19 of 29 last week, so a lot better there. Instead of bombing away, he just took what was there. Last week, someone said it on another video too. I think it was Inside Texas, someone from there. He doesn't have a check down. He just throws it deep. Today, he did. Today, he checked down. It was beautiful to see. You can tell he's learning quicker than most young quarterbacks, and that's awesome to see. Still, again, the weakness to me is pocket presence. He took a couple big hits that he did not need to take, and that was the number one thing for me that I need to see improvement on if he does play at all anymore this year. Hopefully he doesn't. I hope Quinn's back because you do see some things out of Quinn. I think he knows where to go with the football more often than not because obviously he has much more awareness in this offense and much more capability of running the whole playbook in this offense. And then also the defense was phenomenal today. I think we had like 5 or 6 sacks in the game. Yeah, we had 6 sacks in the game, over 10 tackles for loss. Great job by the defense. Colin Simmons is our best pass rusher, period. He is our best pass rusher, period, as a freshman. The get off that he has as a freshman is ridiculous on that sack. My mom was like, man, he didn't jump off sides. I was like, I don't think so. Just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Really good get off. We just need to be better overall on defense at stopping the run. Not great there, guys. Honestly, 150 yards rushing allowed or something along those lines. Yeah, 150 yards rushing. Let's see on how many carries. But overall, I'm pretty concerned about that as well. And then see, we get 12 attempts for negative 14 yards from Michael Van Buren. I hate that college does that. So 33 carries, 37, 38 carries. You get rid of the Michael Van Buren. So 33 carries for 164 yards. That's not good, guys. That's not good. That's not acceptable. 164 divided by 33. We're talking 4.96 yards per carry if my quick math's right on that. That's not good. So we're struggling on both sides of the ball right now at stopping the run. And then we're struggling with running the ball. And that's concerning going forward. I said that. I said those are our 2 biggest weaknesses. I'm more honestly concerned about stopping the run, honestly, because we have the quarterback, we have the offensive weapons, we have the play caller, and we have really good protection when we decide to throw the ball. Even in obvious passing situations, they still do a really good job of keeping the pocket clean. I'm way more concerned at stopping the run at this point. Was it going to be like last year? No. And it's right now teetering on the brink of being worse of 2 years ago, which I said we had to be. When you had Mora Ojomo and Keandre Coburn, I said that's where you had to be. And I think they were around 20. They were between 25 and 35th in yards per carry allowed. I think we were 31st coming into this game. This may drop us down from that. We have to be in the top 40 if we want to win a national championship. We will not win a national championship if stopping the run on a yards per carry basis is outside of the top 40. I guarantee you, if you look at any defense out of the college football playoff era, maybe only one didn't do that. And my guess it would be 2019 LSU. But again, I don't think we're that dynamic on offense. That team was just so insane on offense. It's the best college football offense ever. But overall, guys, I mean, I'm angry, but I'm not going to be so pissed off. It's a 22-point win versus a bad Mississippi State team. Did we do enough? No, but we have a lot to learn from going into the bye week. We have a bye week before we get into Oklahoma, before we get into Georgia, before we get into the meat of our schedule. But I will say this. If they play like this today, I don't think there's any other team on the schedule that we beat. I don't think you're not beating Oklahoma like this. You're not beating Georgia like this. You're definitely not beating Kentucky like this. You're not beating A&M like this. You're not beating Arkansas like this. Maybe Florida. I think if you played this game, you probably win 35-20 if you played Florida. So I guess, yeah, that's the only team. So you get, And I will be angry if this happens versus Florida because, again, I just don't want to see it. If you look at national championship teams, usually have one game like this. So if this is a national championship team, that was your one game. If I see you playing down the competition when we play Arkansas or Florida, I'm going to get really pissed off. And guess what? If you play this game versus anyone else other than Florida, you're going to lose. Arkansas will beat you. A&M will beat you. Vandy might even beat you, honestly, if you play this game. Because Diego Pavia is a baller at quarterback. He has way more experience. You saw Michael Van Buren's really struggle in this game. He got multiple delay of games because he was trying to switch up protection and get his guys in the right play, and he didn't do it in time. So this type of effort and this type of game going forward is not going to be good enough to probably beat anyone on our schedule other than probably Florida. Every other team probably beats us today that was on our schedule. So it kind of works out for Sark. You go into the bye week, you played a really shitty game. You have a veteran team. They should be able to respond and respond well. And guess what? You're going to go up against a 4-1 Oklahoma team that's going to be ranked inside the top 20. So, and a team that beat you last year. So there's plenty to play for. There's plenty to get motivated for. Overall, a lot of bad, a couple bright spots, including Arch Manning and the defensive line getting after the quarterback, and especially Colin Simmons. I hope Ryan Wingo's okay. Hopefully Quinn Ewers is healthy. I guess the announcers were saying he could have gone today, but they held him out. I'm not surprised by that. Mississippi State is a complete trash football team. Like, we played a C- game today and we're by 22.